It, right? Hello, everybody. So we are here for our Director Bound call number 4. This is the last one. Are you guys as sad as I am? I have so loved this. It is May 27th, 2020. And I was just saying, you guys are the premier Director Bound group. If you made it this far, you need to give yourselves a great big round of applause, because we invited a lot of folks and you actually made it. So here you are at the end of May, and we've got a lot of fun things to cover here today. I'm Shelley Weeks. I'm an advanced director, but by this time next week, our entire team may have a brand new senior director title, and that is super extraordinary. So I was just asking, is anybody else busy? It's the last week of the month. We have 4 directors who are working on their director requirements by this weekend. And it is just titillating. It's so freaking exciting. So it's really, really awesome. As we get started here, obviously, if you have background noise, click mute, but be ready to click that mute button to unmute, to pop in to participate. Use the chat. That chat is a gold mine. When we're done, somebody remind me to save the chat, and I'll share it along with my notes like I've been doing. Has that been helpful? Anybody found that helpful? Okay. And then also as we wrap up, this is the last official training call. There were 4 of them. We do want to direct your attention to our Facebook group for this Director Bound program for May 2020. It's called Get the More You're Looking For. I know you're all connected in there. We put up a poll to help kind of tease out some of your results. We'd love to get a chance to quantify those. So watch for more kind of questions where we walk you back to see, like, what have you accomplished? What have you accomplished as we've gone through this program? And we want to really help you celebrate where you've been from last month to now. This is May 27th. Do you guys realize that on April 27th, we were doing our Get the More You're Looking For event? That was 1 month ago today. So where have you come from then to now? What have you accomplished? We're going to be talking a little bit about that during this call. We've got our directors here on the line, and we'll share with you kind of towards the end what the next steps are and what comes next. And our topic officially for this call is how to get your consultants off to a strong start. Okay, so if you followed along and you've been working your business this entire month, by now it's possible you've got some new teammates, or you're on the verge of having some new teammates. It may be your very first recruit ever, or you may be feeling really comfortable with that recruiting role. But we want to give you some tools for how to really take it to the next level so that you can ride this extraordinary growth. We had a call this morning where with Sherry Carr and Nancy Francis, 2 of our beloved national executive directors, and our guest speaker was the one and only Jean Jonas. Just phenomenal to be on the receiving end of that kind of perspective. She's 19 years with Pampered Chef, 40 years in direct sales. And she shared some details with us that were just staggering. I mean, we broke records in March. We broke them again in April. And this month in May, which is not even done, typically we see 50% of our overall business happen in the last 48 hours of every month. And we're not even there yet. Already we're at something like 370% of normal for a May on sales and recruits and numbers of directors promoted and numbers of promotions for executive and national executive directors. Off the charts growth. So again, applause to each and every one of you for what you're doing to share Pampered Chef with everybody you know who eats. You're doing it and you're making huge impacts. Super extraordinary. So kind of nudge us on the page. We're all super busy, but we do have some of those snapshots that Jean shared with us. And, that's kind of insider information, but I think you guys, you've earned it, don't you think? Don't you think you should get some of that insider info? I think you should. Awesome.
They got to see those. They are help with them.
Oh my gosh, big time. Participated and you're in there. Yeah, she was so impressed. Jean was so impressed with the overall Sherry Carr and Nancy Francis's downline, and that's us guys. I mean, the growth has been remarkable. So I want to take a minute before we dive into some of our content and give you a chance to share. So in the chat for sure, but I would love to have somebody come off of mute and take just a moment and tell us what, let's kind of pull out some of your best, oh my gosh, wows that you implemented from Kelly's training last week, where we talked about the host coaching and the and all the booking ideas and the recruiting ideas and welcoming, ideas for welcoming your host. So if somebody actually has had some specific results as a result after last week's call, I'd love for you to share. Does anybody want to give us a little bit of feedback on what you've done this week that you're super proud of with that training last week? And I'm looking through. Everybody's muted, and I appreciate that.
I'm super excited.
Yvette, thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'm super excited. I just closed a party, $1,500, and the host signed up. So she used her host credit, and so it's just real exciting. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, that's how it's all about.
And it was really neat because with her, the first time I talked to her, she said that she was thinking about signing up, and but that she wasn't sure and everything. And of course I spoke a little bit about it, but I kind of just left it there. I didn't keep at her. And then the next time when we spoke, I was talking about going forth with the party and everything like that, and kept on telling her, okay, because she's in real estate. So I kept on telling her, I told her, well, this is one I thought I was real happy or proud about. One of my last things that I said to her was, you can sign this because if when you sign up, you can create your own personalized gift baskets for your home buyers, and it be a tax write-off as far as for you that way, and you're making commission on it. And so it was just kind of a little seed there.
Yeah.
And anyway, the next day she said that she wanted to use her host credit. So it was just, I'm real happy.
That's awesome, Yvette. Thank you for sharing that. That's tremendous. So it sounds like she, it was several contacts, right?
Absolutely. It wasn't like from the get-go she said, I want to do it. Yeah.
All right. That's great. That's great. When you find those people who on the very first time, they're like, oh my gosh, that sounds great. Grab them. Those are rare. But as we've learned,
exactly. That doesn't happen all the time.
No, exactly. It takes, 4, 5, 6 times that you want to contact them and be in touch and offering it and just be supportive and giving on that. Yeah. And I'm looking at Brittany is saying that her team is well over $5,000 and they have 3 new recruits this month with 2 more signing up on Friday. I'm so excited for Brittany. That is tremendous. Love it. Who else has just a little bit of feedback about what you implemented that you learned last week? Anybody? We've got time for one more person to share. Is that Kelly raising her hand or her grandson?
David.
David. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
David.
Sorry, it was on mute.
You were on mute. Yep.
I have background noise, so I've been trying to kind of keep myself muted here.
We appreciate it. Go ahead. Tell us what's new.
I just been getting a lot of bookings. I'm already have submitted out 5,500 in sales for the month, so I'm trying to get to my 6,000. I got some more parties going on that are ending this week, so I'm hoping to get my 6,000.
Awesome.
I've done about 12 parties this month, and then I have already 4 more bookings for next month, so I'm excited for that. So I'm still working to get some more bookings. I'm hoping to repeat this month again next month. So it's just been going really well. I've had a hard time with the recruiting. I've been reaching out, just haven't had a lot of people that, are ready to jump in yet. So I have a few people either saying no, or a few people, just telling me that, they'll think about it type things. But I'm hoping over time that that'll change.
Yeah, it definitely will, because you're making contact and you're doing this, right? You're keeping track.
Yes, I've got my.
Let's see it.
Yes,
Come on, everybody grab them. Let's
my
see
sheets
them.
here.
Let's see them. All right, David, that's great.
Yes, I've been doing that tracking.
I
That's
love
helping
it.
getting the bookings. Let me tell you, that's been a lifesaver. I've never had this many bookings. I think the most I had ever done is maybe 3 parties in a month, and now I'm like doing 12 parties. So I've definitely broken all my own records. I think that my largest was 1,700 in sales in a month, and now I'm like I said, I'm almost at 6,000.
Wow. Wow. And you know what? You will never not want to get all of those free for all products again. You will always target 6,000 for and when you do it again in June, there's a whole new batch in June that we're going to be earning, guys. David, I'm very proud of you. Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
You're inspiring. We really appreciate you sharing. Thank you. I want to actually call on a friend who this is not her normal, way to share. And I talked with Christine earlier today and asked her if she'd kind of fill us in a little bit more about the road she's been through. I met Christine when she hosted on a party that started, an online party that started on December 6th. And she told me by the time we were done that she was thinking about joining us and she would wait till the end of the month. And between then and when she actually followed through on that, my husband was hospitalized. We were in the hospital for 12 days. And I didn't follow up. I wasn't in touch with her. I didn't do anything with my business. And this young lady has just done it and made it and run with it. And so Christine, if you'd unmute and share, just kind of tell us a little bit about where you started and some of the things that have made the biggest impact on where you are today.
Okay, so I'm not big on things like this, like Shelley said, but I struggle with severe anxiety. But sometimes things are a lot harder than other days, and especially with this whole shutdown and stuff. I've had some bad days, but I first signed up. I told Shelley, I'll do your Zoom calls, but I'm not getting on audio. I'm not getting on video. I'll talk in the chat. The growth is just, personally, has been big. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'll give you a tissue box. I wish I could hand it to you. Take your time, hon.
So this is part anxiety and part just, I never saw myself here. I'm not the director this month.
Did you guys hear that? Christine is going to be a fast track director and has led her team. Oh my gosh, Christine, criminal.
Sorry. I told you, Shelley, I'm not good at this.
So they are about $180 away from seeing this. They've flown past that $5,000 level. They don't have 5 people on their team. They have 6. Almost all of them joined this month. I can't even remember, but it's
That's the only one that's this month.
Has been extraordinary, and it has happened so fast. And I have watched, okay, we've been busy. And Christine was very much, like, I don't know if I can do this, but she was doing it. And she's been guiding these young ladies. She's been coaching them. She's been supporting them. She's been encouraging them. And she's the epitome of what you want in a leader. And these gals are bending over backwards. They are like so excited, and they are around the clock. I mean, the chatter in their group is 18 hours a day, for criminal's sake. It's crazy. You cannot get them to step away and go take a break. They're like, oh my gosh, I just booked another party. But Christine, I don't mean to steal your thunder.
No,
you
okay.
did a lot in 5 months. What would you point to that has been most helpful?
I took one big takeaway from each of the videos from each week. Cindy's first week was change your language from desperation to determination. Michelle mentioned the acronym FEAR is false evidence appearing real, and said most fear is self-created. And Kelly was talking about affirmations and self-talk. And so struggling with anxiety, being in my head, has been my biggest struggle. And changing my mindset that it's not about me and my struggles, it's what I can offer to someone else. And now I can present this opportunity to other people. I never thought I could be here. It's a big deal. Sorry. It's not just about the Pampered Chef journey. It's a personal journey for me. It's
Her
helping my anxiety.
husband is so proud of her, and Eli.
My anxiety is less in my day-to-day because I'm pushing myself in this business to do this. And that's hard, but I'm seeing results. And that positive reinforcement, the team structure here, I could not have done this on my own. Sorry.
Don't apologize. This is perfect. This is perfect. Because this is really what it's all about. If it were only about going out and making money and booking shows, I don't think any of us would have stayed more than 20 minutes.
No, definitely not.
This is real. This is what feeds our souls.
It does. It does. Thank you for opening up. I appreciate it.
Do it scared, right?
Do it scared. Give her a shout out, guys. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Take a minute. Go get a hug from your son. She's got the most supportive family. And I know that there's folks who manage this without that, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And this young lady told me, I'm not even going to get on the phone with you, Shelley, right? Not even going to do it. And guess who has over $3,300 in sales just on her own this month while she's been supporting everybody else on her team. So she is my right hand. She honestly is the most amazing person. And I'm so glad you guys got to hear personally from Christine. It does my heart good. And thank you for sharing, Christine. That was very brave of you. And I really appreciate it. So who out there, who are your Christines? when we talk about sharing this and you know that it's not about you, it's about the impact that you can have on somebody else's life. And yeah, it may sound trite, it may sound like pie in the sky, but when you really look at it, Jean Jonas was sharing with us today how we have the chance to, help people who need it in their day-to-day lives, feeding their families, and we're cooking more than ever. And also those folks who are just diamonds in the rough and ready to blossom, and you have the chance to share that. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Okay, now I want to talk for a second about your mindset though, because it is a very natural tendency with Pampered Chef and with anything that you do, and we're doing this in a group and we're supporting each other. But I want to take a minute and make sure that everybody has gone through this course with us and you've all made progress. But it's so important that you look at what you have accomplished. We started this program out and told you, you'll grow in this program. It may not result in you promoting to director this month. It may not result in you recruiting this month. It's going to be in the months to come that you actually see a lot of the results that you're going to get from this program. It's going to percolate and develop as you go on month by month by month. So I want to be sure to point out and make sure that you care for yourself and acknowledge what you have accomplished and not necessarily compare yourself to the accomplishments of your neighbor. We can cheer for each other, we can be celebratory for each other, but we each have our own paths. And I don't know about you guys, but I fall into that trap like, oh my gosh, I didn't get this, that, or the other thing. Kick that stuff to the curb, use your positive affirmations, and make sure that you're celebrating yourself and your own accomplishments. So I want you to each think about it. I want you to think about it and take a minute in the chat. And I want you to toot your own horn and share in that chat. And we're going to save that and share it with everybody. Tell us what one thing did you really step out of your comfort zone and do this month that you, gosh, never would have done? What one thing did you, surprise yourself by accomplishing, or even just trying? What one thing, did you do that got a result that just made you tear up, that was just super heartfelt? What kind of feedback did you get from some of your customers or for some of your hosts who were super appreciative that you went to the effort to invite them to host or invite them to take another look at that particular product? Customer service is huge, and you provide so much excellent. I mean, I just had a situation right before getting on this call where I got terrible customer service from somebody I was trying to give my business to. It was not fun at all. And and so even if you went out of your way to help a customer or help a peer, help one of your fellow consultants, one of the things about being in business for ourselves, they say we're in business for ourselves, but we're not by ourselves. We have our team to support us. But there is something to be said for, being your own source of inspiration, celebrating the little things. Eve says she did her first new consultant onboarding call. Not only did she do it, but she did it with me sitting on the line watching her, which is no small thing. That's huge, huge, huge. And she did phenomenal. But it's super, adds an extra layer of stress. I'm seeing Jan saying, inviting people to join Pampered Chef to provide them with the opportunity. Let me make sure I'm sticking to my notes here a little bit. So think that over, and how have you grown? How have you grown in a month? It was a month ago that we were doing we offered you this chance to get the more you're looking for and to join us this month. And just super jazzed that everybody did. So you want to always be celebrating your successes, even those little ones. And watch what happens with the rest of the people around you who see you doing that. Your kids, your spouse, all the people you engage with. My little girls, when they were little, they used to meet me at the door when I would leave from my parties, and we would do a cheer. Like, go, mommy, go, have a good show, make lots of dough, have lots of fun. I mean, we would do that like a huddle, like football players. These young ladies are 18 and almost 21 now, and they still remember that. And they cheer for themselves too. So you are demonstrating and modeling things that will have big impacts on those people in your lives. And just always remember to be the first, take that moment to pat yourself on the back for your little steps, little accomplishments, and taking those actions. In the team group, I do want to point out to you that poll that we added. I think I put that up yesterday, and it says, what habits have you established this month that are going to serve you going forward? Little things like that. So take advantage, be sure to go to that group and really self-evaluate. How many contacts did you make this month? Right? If you've been using a tool like this, you know exactly how many contacts you've made. What kind of impact did that have on your business? How many people are you in touch with that you wouldn't have been if you hadn't joined this group? How many lives have you touched? And of those contacts that maybe didn't bear fruition, David was commenting about hasn't recruited yet. How many people on that page are going to join you in the months to come? And this time next, in a couple months from now, they're going to be the ones thanking you for inviting them. They're going to be the ones promoting the Fast Track Director and pulling an income that they needed as a result of your contacts. So don't discredit the progress that you've made and the impact that you have made. I do want to put a extra plug out there. Today is May 27th, and we have 4 days left of the month. Those of you who have been here before know how much you can accomplish in 4 days. It's a lifetime in this world, this fast-paced online world where we're sharing. And I want to encourage you to make the most of it. Have you reached that free-for-all goal that you'd set? How close are you? How much more can you do? I mean, really, it's Sunday. Sunday evening is the end of the month. Do those follow-ups, you know, do that little stretch and reach out to a couple more folks. Share tips. Maybe step out of your comfort zone and share a product each day in your Facebook community or your social media community. Do you have a VIP group that you connect with, or is it just on your Facebook wall? Are you feeling brave? And do you want to pop in and do your first ever Facebook Live from your own kitchen? Start a new habit, right? Did you know that you can start and host your own online party that starts tomorrow? And you can run it for just 2 days and have an add host to it. You can make your own little block party, a quickie, a little express late May party, a post Memorial Day, we survived it day, right? So there's all kinds of fun things that you can do, but be excited and share it. If you're leaving this program and you're pumped up, don't hide that. Go be silly and be excited, and think about, you know, what you used in your kitchen with your family this week that you can share with the folks that you encounter on Facebook. And there's so many possibilities. So step out of that comfort zone, right? Because that's where the growth happens. Offer that kit. How many people do you know who on June 1st would come to you and say, oh my goodness, I had no idea that I could have gotten a full rebate on the kit if I'd ordered it just 1 day prior in May? That rebate does not come around often. You know, some months we don't have an offer at all. We're very fortunate that Pampered Chef is offering that full rebate. Most of the time when you're offering to let somebody get started with Pampered Chef, they have an incentive of, you know, a product that they can earn for free. This is actual cash money, actual cash money. I mean, super jazzed for Yvette, who offered, her friend had a $1,500 party and used her kit credit to get a discount on her kit and can still get the rest of her cost of her kit back. Most people would say, criminy, she had a $1,500 party. She's got no one else who's going to do business with her. They bought all they were going to buy. Clearly not, right? Clearly not. We just heard about Ellington Boyce, who is at $44,000 in sales personally this month. Another friend on our team is at $31,000 in sales this month. There are people selling $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. That folks are buying, and they're really excited about doing something like this. So that kit rebate, do not be shy about that. Do not be shy about sharing that. There's only 4 more days left to get it. So much can happen. And in the chat, take a minute. If you've had an experience where, you know, you just had a couple days left to the month, or it was, you know, up to the deadline and you took action and saw results in just a short period of time, we want to hear about it. Put that in the chat and share with us, because it helps all of us to see the examples. It's like that big ask, hashtag big ask. Who saw that? Hashtag big ask. That's ask with a K, everybody. That's on our Get the More You're Looking For Director Bound page. If you've had a conversation with somebody about doing the business or hosting or offering them any of your services, and you take a screenshot of that conversation and share it with everybody and put on the hashtag BIGASK, big ask, it helps all of us know how those conversations work. It might help somebody else who's having that conversation next time, whether it resulted in a yes or a no or a maybe or anything. Share those and do a search in that group for hashtag big ask. And I challenge each of you to go back to your respective teams and start that for your teams. It's a great way to help each other, because a lot of new folks, they don't know how to have those conversations. So they see your conversation and it's super helpful. All right. Any questions up to this point? Because I'm going to dive into sharing some tips, some very specific tips about helping your new folks get off to a good start. But as I kind of cruise through what I had on my to-do list for us for this evening, does anyone have any questions about it? Pop off, unmute, and share? Is this helpful? It's so quiet. Everybody's on mute, and I appreciate that, but it's so quiet. Someone can feel free to unmute and tell me that you're still hearing me.
Yep.
Yep.
I hear
Good.
you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Yeah, hear me.
I
Awesome.
hear you.
Hey, Shelley,
Okay. Yeah.
it's Michelle. I have somebody that I really need to acknowledge, and I'll do it quickly. Emma Ramlow is on this team. Her mantra was, I'm too afraid, I'm too afraid. She was afraid about live shows. She was afraid about virtual parties. She sent me an invitation to her group virtual party. I was still doing events, and I called her. I go, Emma, what? She goes, yeah, I'm really afraid, but I'm going to be starting block parties next week. She's killing it. So, you know, we all start off kind of shaky, but she's just blowing past those fears, and I'm so proud of her.
That's wonderful. Is Emma on the call? Are you here, Emma?
She's muted.
Emma has reached out to me, and I give her kudos for doing that, because she reached out to me and was asking me questions. And forgive me if I've got this wrong, but I have a, Emma, remind me if this was right. I've had a number of folks from other teams who have reached out to me and said, Shelley, I found you on YouTube and I devoured all your training. So I'm not very proficient at YouTube. So every time I do a training like this, I pop it up and I know how to get it onto YouTube and get the link. But apparently I wasn't very good and I didn't click private. So they're all public.
Love it.
There's a lot of content out there, several years worth. And I've had people getting a hold of me lately and saying, oh my gosh, I found, right? So I'm pretty sure Emma grabbed that. So quiz Emma on where to find those videos and which ones she recommends. And we really, you know, the directors you're meeting here, we all have different processes and we're learning from each other. So we all have something to learn from each other. Michelle keeps saying beautiful things about the things she's learned from doing this program with me, but I've learned things from Michelle over the years. So I'm so glad to be able to give back. But our processes are all different. So as I share with you some of the onboarding techniques that our team has implemented and developed, I just want to kind of give a little grace to the directors on this team. If they're not doing these things, it's possible that we can together, we can kind of help all of us move in this direction. If you guys want to experience any of them that we're offering on my team, just say the word, we can wrap you into that, no problem. Michelle commented about Emma doing block parties. We do block parties now. And it's a function of necessity because we have so many hosts that you just can't do them one by one. So you lump them all together. Okay, so kind of back up a second. So the topic here is how to start off a new consultant in the most strong way you possibly can to get them off to a super fast start. Because we have found that when you have somebody who gets started and they kind of just tiptoe along, it's super difficult to kind of get any momentum going. So the number one thing that I would say that has resulted in astronomical growth on our team, and I'm telling you right now, we're at 88 people on our team as of this moment. This time last year, we were at 36. And that 88 is probably going to be a record that just we never see again, because I've already seen Brittany and everybody else has already got more people who are joining, and we could be by up to 100 by next week. So you need to have some really good systems to support that many people in as efficient a way as possible. But I will tell you, the number one thing that I think is responsible for it is our intro call. So raise a hands or in the chat and tell me if you watched that intro call. I posted a recording of it yesterday for you in anticipation of this call. So anybody, did anybody watch it? And I know that if anybody, you know what I'm talking about? Did you see it? I put a YouTube link up of one of the recordings of my intro call. Robin says, I haven't had a chance yet. It's on my to-do list for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So no problem. Yvette, what were you going to say? You too?
Yeah.
You watched it? Oh, you did. Go on mute for just a second.
That's the one where it was U4, right? There
No,
was
I'm not sure. I've done probably 12 of those this month. I don't recall. So
Okay.
what, is it where I showed the fast track reward program?
Yes. And
Yeah.
you at first they were just talking about the introduction and how everything came about. Yes.
Little getting to know you. Yeah.
Getting to know you. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So what the reason this is super powerful is that, and I'll just tell you the segments of that intro call, it's a little getting to know you, sharing my background to give them a little inspiration, explaining what the earning possibilities are. So I'm just giving a quick summary, that you can earn $200 to $500 a week, or $800 to $2,000 or more per month. Okay. The kinds of different ways we do our parties. And most importantly is the cash rewards that are available for brand new consultants in the Fast Track Reward Program. I'm going to just share my screen real quick. I didn't put this together in advance, but I'm going to do it. And Michelle, remind me about this too when I get there. But this right here, can you guys all see my screen? Okay. This Fast Track Rewards. So this is a game board, and I take on this intro call, everybody now on my team, this took a little while to get it established, but I do this intro call now where every recruiter, every person who's inviting somebody else will absolutely do everything possible to get their new teammate on an intro call with me. They make it like, ooh, Shelley's gonna do your intro call. They make it a big freaking deal. It's not that big of a deal, but you can kind of do this. Let's say that you've got somebody and you're gonna do the call, and you tell them, yeah, make me a big deal. Tell them that I'm gonna set aside my time in order to walk them through and help them get off to a strong start. There's something magical about it. They think like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll be there. And boom, I had 10 people on my intro call yesterday. And these calls have just become huge. So when I walk them through, okay, this is the meat of it right here. And I tell them, I am going to really emphasize this because there is so much available to you as a fast track, in your fast track reward period. And somebody getting started right now, that reward period is through the end of September. You have all that time to earn all these rewards, and the products are great. And I have them get out their calculators and I walk them through the cash bonuses that they can earn. And I lose track of the amount of money they can earn in bonuses on top of their commission, on top of the products. I mean, as you get started and we teach people to do 4 parties at a time in block parties. That's 4 a week. And you'll have one person join you per week if you do this. And you stack those up right here and you get $100 and $100 and $100 and $100, right? And when you get up to 5 of them, you're Christine, right? And you're Brittany, you're fast track director. So you're right here. And in Christine's case, she has Jessica, who's going to be the next fast track director. And so Jessica, when she promotes to fast track director, is going to earn $500 bonus. But so is Christine, who recruited her. And when Jessica stays for 3 more months, 500 more. And so Christine, 500 more, right? But that makes Christine a fast track advanced director. And guess what Christine's gonna earn? $1,000 as a bonus for promoting to fast track advanced director, which is having 1 director on your team. And so will I, because I was Christine's recruiter. And then when Christine stays for another 3 months advanced, she'll get another 1,000 and I'll get another 1,000. But remember when Jessica promoted to director, Christine's earning those 500s and those 1000s, and oh my gosh, they lose track, but you could actually earn $3,000, $6,000, $9,000, $12,000, $15,000 and more in bonuses through this program. Pampered Chef has made this available for us. And by the fact that I walk them through this on day 1, They are focused on this like a laser beam. I tell them to print out 2 copies of this chart, one for the fridge, one for the bathroom mirror. If they have children, put it lower on the fridge and put crayons and markers and let their kids mark it up. And how are you doing, Mom? Where are you on the fast track reward? Who's next on the line? Get your kids going. So everybody on my team, if you ask them, they will show you a picture of their chart on their fridge and it's all marked up. And they're doing it. They're asking questions about how it works. How does a kit credit work? So you get them focused in on this, which is the bigger picture, before they get into the weeds of how the online parties work and how the website works and how the mechanics of post my party, or all of those will come. But I tell them, I say, I would hate to be 2 months down the line and have you say, you know, Shelley, I would have done things completely differently if I'd have known that this much bonus money was on the table for me. I would have done it completely different. You know, shame on you, Shelley, for not making this apparent at the beginning that this was available. And so we do. This is in the intro call. And the other part of that intro call is that silly little chart that I taught you guys, because we get those new consultants started making 25 to 30 contacts a day and tracking it and following up and following up and following up. And guess what the result is? Our new consultants are booking parties in the first days because they're asking a lot of people and they're tracking it. So we've empowered them with the tool. I had 10 people on the intro call last night. And I always do this at the end of my calls. I'll hit you guys with this at the end of this call. Share with me what your best takeaway was from the time we spent together. I invested an hour in your intro call. You invested an hour, took an hour away from your family. Tell me what your best takeaway was. Guess what? Again and again and again and again, people are telling me, I've gone and done Avon, I've done Tupperware, I've done Usborne Books, I've done Mary Kay, I've done LuLaRoe. I have never been so well equipped to be successful from the get-go as I am right now. And they're doing it. Sandy on our team has got $4,700 in sales. It's her second month. Actually, it's her first month. She's joined at the end of April. We've got folks who are doing like David. They're selling $4,000 to $6,000 a month from the get-go, okay, with these techniques. So I credit that intro call. If you haven't seen it, I posted a recording of one of my intro calls in the Facebook group. It's there for you to watch as many times as you want. The next thing that I credit with strong starts for folks is that fast track reward program, and the fact that we put it in front of them and we talk about it and we celebrate. Christine helps me with this, and now our whole team is doing this. When they hit that $500 and they get their little ceramic egg cooker, oh my gosh, we go nuts over that, right? And then they hit the $1,200 and they get their first cookware. Every step, we celebrate it. And we acknowledge it and we recognize it and we make a great big deal. Ask Christine to share the star chart that she made that shows all of our new consultants and when they hit each one of those levels. Okay, we have 88 people. We're keeping track of that. When we get to 200, you know, we're going to need several charts, right? That's a great problem to have. So we definitely promote that fast track program and keep it in front of them. The other thing is Dash. And Dash, if you're not using it as a recruiter and as a young director, it is a resource that you will love. I want to make sure you guys all realize you do not need to train new consultants. That is not a job you have to do. If you want to go through and do all their training, you can, but you don't have to. Between Dash and the other tips I'm going to show you, what you are for these folks, these brand new folks, is you are their supporter, you're their cheerleader, you're their encourager. You do for Christine and for your Christines, what we have done for our new folks is when they get stuck, you help them break through that stuck. When they get like, oh my gosh, it's not working out, I'm getting people saying no, you help encourage them. You do for your new consultants what you do for your hosts. You Give them encouragement to go one step further, one step further, one step further, one step further. It's the same things you do for your children. You encourage them. You recognize the things they do well. You try to ignore the things that they don't do well because you don't want them to repeat that, right? So, but your job is not training them. If you send them into Dash from the very beginning, that intro call and Dash, guess what? Stacy Itzel will tell you, she trained us on this, that you shoot your new consultants directly into Dash. You may have to show them how to get logged into Consultants Corner and point to the purple square. That's our training room, and get them started. Each one of those little classes, maximum 5 minutes, totally mobile friendly. And you, as the recruiter and as the director, you can log into Dash, and guess what? You can see the list they made of what they want to get out of their business. You can see the list they made for their launch list, who they know that is a potential host or a potential consultant, and you can see their answer to their why questions. You can see all their answers. So it's super efficient, and it's all right there for you right in Dash. Did you guys all know that? Ooh, pretty good, huh? Okay, so Dash is really good. You shoot them right into there, and actually the first like 5 or 6 steps, and then you tell them, once you get to the point where it says contact your recruiter, boom, that's where we do the intro call. Done, okay? So we really, some of the other tips that we use for getting folks off to a strong start is efficiency-based. Remember how I mentioned block parties? And we have so many hosts now that we can't just do an individual party for everybody. We do block parties. And on our team, we share our resources. So we're all doing the exact same things. We all start our parties on Fridays. 2 days of pre-party, 5 days of party. They wrap up on Thursday, and it washes, rinses, and repeats the very next week. So if I have somebody that joined with me and I'm busy because I'm off playing volleyball, which I do, Christine can jump in, or Eve can jump in, or Kate can jump in, because they know if it's Sunday, they know exactly what steps they're doing, because we all share our resources, right? Our Post My Party templates, our host surveys, our all of the tools that we use to do our online parties. But better yet, when I have somebody brand new and I do that intro call and I tell them, we're going to start you off with your kickoff party this Friday. Guess what? It's in my party. I add my brand new consultants to my block party, and I treat them like a host. And so they experience that first party. It's their kickoff with my hosts, all of their customers, all of my consultants' customers, and they add in their hosts as well. I might end up having 8 hosts who start on a Friday. And I add that consultant, that brand new consultant and her hosts to the group with my hosts, a little Facebook message group that I'm giving them things to post in the party every single day. And I tell my hosts, Sally and Harry and Frank and Jane are all brand new consultants learning how to do their new business, so that my current hosts see this is how they get supported. And I'm doing my steps once. I'm not doing separate steps for everybody. I'm doing one step every day for 10 to 15 people sometimes, all in one group each week, and it just repeats each week. Does that make sense? So you want to go ahead and combine your parties with folks who are joining, and everybody on the team knows Friday is the start of your party. And you're the host the first week. If you've already used your kit credit and ordered your kit, then you're the host and the consultant. You're getting the paycheck and the host rewards and all the bookings. And by next Friday, if you've learned it and are feeling comfortable, we'll help you start your parties and do the exact same thing. So it is phenomenal, the growth that can happen when you're all following the same systems and you combine your personal business with your team, with your recruits and all of their recruits all together. And they end up helping each other. I have one more tip to share before I stop. I probably have more, but the ones that the things that we did and do to help get folks off to a super strong start. I'm going to share my screen one more time and show you guys. It's in Facebook. This started, remember when I showed you guys, I showed you the tracking. I need to find this for a second. I showed you how to do that tracking mechanism, and I showed you that I started that last June when we really got started with these online, that's not what I wanted, online parties and in block parties. Well, we started recruiting right away, not just me, but folks in our overall team. All of us started recruiting. And so all of a sudden we had new folks. And remember when you were brand new and it was all confusing and you were like, oh, I don't know where to go or what to do. And I can't figure out where on Facebook. So we created a little Facebook message group. Can you guys see my screen and see this on the screen? It was called New PC Teammates of Our Amazing Rockstar Team. It was a Facebook message group specifically for new folks and their recruiters. And I would tell our new people in the intro call, I'd say, you're going to have a lot of questions and you'll probably shoot me a message with your questions and I will answer you and I'll say, you know what, that's a great question. Would you mind posting it here in the group with all of the new consultants and let me answer it there so that everybody can hear the answer? Okay, number one, that's efficient, right? Rather than you racing around, and this happens, once you start to grow and you start to add people who add people who add people, you've got everybody's asking questions. You want to put them all together in something like this. This started out with maybe 10 people. And the idea was that whenever someone had a question, they could go here and maybe even they'd get an answer from one of their peers before I could even answer it. And the idea was that folks would stay here while they were new and while they were training, and then they would leave. Huh. That didn't happen. Want to see what this is looking like today? No one leaves. Over here is where the people are who are in this group. Look at how many folks are in this group. They don't leave. There's probably, I don't know, 70, 80, 50 in this group. They don't leave. And remember this, remember needing to hear something or being offered the chance to do a party or be a Pampered Chef the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time. Do you remember that concept? That's at work here. This is a lot of repetition in this group because when you have brand new people, they ask the same questions again and again and again. And so they get we answer it here. And oftentimes it's not even me. Dee is asking something right now about the how you stay active. Somebody else was asking about the kit credit. They're answering each other's questions, but the same questions keep recycling through and they're hearing it again and again and again. I've got folks who started off a year ago and I added to this group to just get some extra support. They didn't do anything for months, who suddenly are selling $2,000 and $3,000 a month now because they're getting the answers. They're hearing it again and again. I put brand new folks in this group and I tell them, I'm going to give you the script for the intro call that we did. I'm going to give you the chart, the fast track director, fast track rewards chart, and the every 4 add 1 more chart and that tracking chart. And I post them in here. If you scroll all through this, you will see that added twice a week, sometimes more. It's the repetition. And I've had folks who've left this group, whose businesses were doing this, that suddenly just dropped off and they're gone. So those are my little tips for getting folks off to a strong start and establishing your own team in a way that is duplicatable and gets everybody helping everybody else. I really gave this a lot of thought when it was my turn to share this with you. And it was pretty eye-opening that we can't do this by ourselves. None of us can grow. I mean, you can try. You can make progress as a Pampered Chef and grow kind of solo. But oh my gosh, when you partner with the people who you bring on board and you are transparent and you let them know, I'm not perfect. I'm going to need your help. Together, we're going to do this together and we're each going to help each other. It just explodes and people step up. they step up, and you start seeing leaders, and you want to just encourage that and let them lead. And before you know it, you've got a Christine, you've got a Kate. I invited Kate to talk with us today. She's in her choir event at church today because she celebrates her 7th anniversary with us this month in June. And she promoted to director on May 1st. And that amazing woman is just in her element. She is such a great mentor and leader to her team. And I don't have to do anything. She's just building them. And she's thriving, and she's blossoming, and she's amazing. And it took 7 years, and she did it. And she's awesome. So any questions about that as we finish up here tonight? Was that helpful?
Very helpful. Very helpful.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I got everything right. So the first thing would be the intro call, and which would be like the chart tracking of what we want to show our first new recruits is a chart tracking and making sure they're asking in their tracking that, of course, and then going over the fast track, and then of course direct them to Dash, and that's so cool. Michelle, you had mentioned that I could check the Dash progress, but for some reason it didn't click. So when you said it again, that's totally
You needed to hear it a couple times, Yvette? You needed to hear it a couple times?
I did. Is
that right?
And then be efficient. And so was those the 4 things that you talked about?
Pretty much. Be efficient, ask for help, be real. Our goal isn't to be perfect. That was the last one that I put. So I'm going to share my notes. I made my notes for what I was going to present in this call, and they're in the notes that I'll share on the page so you can see them, right? And also I'll share this. Guess what this is? It's a dog-eared copy of the script of the intro call. It sits buried on my desk because I don't need to refer to it anymore. I do probably 10 to 12 intro calls a month now, and I prioritize them. They are my number one priority, to drop everything and get that intro call accomplished. Very few people actually have to go watch my recording. They get themselves on that call, and my recruiters get on the call, and my new directors get on the call. Christine told me the other day she's probably been on 8 of those intro calls. Do you think that she could do an intro call now in her sleep? Darn right, she could. Absolutely. Yes. Eve did one the other day. She asked me to sit in. She didn't need me there. She's seen it enough times. So I will share the script for the intro call. My recording of one is in the page. If you want to attend my next one, shoot me a note. I'll make sure you get in there. That's the other thing about that repetition. Every time I do an intro call, and I've set one up for tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I post in that new PC teammate group, hey guys, 2 o'clock tomorrow is my next intro call if you need a refresher. I had 10 people on my intro call yesterday. A lot of them coming in hearing it for the 5th, 6th time. And then I ask them, share with me, what did you hear that you've heard before that was, super impactful? And they do. They're like, oh my gosh, that just went in one ear, out the other the first 3 times. And now it connected. Okay, thanks, Yvette. Very good. Any other questions about what I covered?
I don't have a question, but I have to say this is life-changing. This is awesome.
Awesome.
I agree. See, I'm telling you, even us directors learn
Yes.
from each other.
Yep.
Fabulous. That means so much coming from you guys. Oh my gosh, Cindy is the queen. I'm always sitting there in the audience watching her cross the stage, getting the #1 seller and the #1 recruiter. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's great.
I can tell you anything, but getting the off to a strong start's another thing. So
Well, you know what? Because we've had it so scattered.
it
It has
has
so many
been.
different pieces, and this puts it together.
Yes, yes, and that's what I'm visualizing as Shelley's talking. I'm picturing it, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah,
So I've been stuck. So this is really helpful.
That's great. I'm so glad. I've actually been doing this intro call for about 3-4 years. I've got notes from when I started doing it. I kind of stopped for a little while. Guess what? Our team kind of stopped growing. And then I got it back going again. So yeah, it's huge. So if anybody wants to be on one, let me know. And then think about any other questions. I am going to give you guys a chance. So use the chat while I give you our final details. Directors, monitor the chat, see if there's any questions, because I know we're starting to get over on our time, and I want to respect your time. But if there's any specific questions about what I covered, hit it in the chat. If you heard one particular thing that was like oh, wow, that was my gem from this time tonight, post that in the chat for me, your aha, okay? Do that with your teammates when you go over something with them. Ask them to tell you what was the one thing that was the best that you're going to take action on right now immediately. That gets them to recap it. And if you're teaching for a group, it gets them to recap it for everybody. It's super valuable. But I do want to give you our next steps as we wrap up. This is the last call. However, we get to celebrate. And it's next Wednesday, 5 o'clock Pacific time, June 3rd. By that time, we will have wrapped up a record-breaking May, and we want to hear all about what you accomplished through the end of May and what you have set up for June. So we will put together, we don't know what we're doing yet, but we will put together a celebration for this same time, same place next week for a celebration. Yes, we will be running Director Bound again. And I recommend, if you got a lot out of it, but you're just feeling like, oh my gosh, I didn't really dive in the way that I wanted to, I want you to commit to taking it again. I want you to do it again and again and again. You can take this course as many times as you want. You will get different things each time. There will be different directors leading it next time. But our plan initially was to do this again in July. But what's happening in July? What's happening in July?
Conference.
Conference. You know that we're 23,000 people are registered. Word this morning from Sherry Carr is that there are about 2,500 spots left. People who are signing up this month, next month, all the way through July 5th can still get one of those overflow seats for their registration. I think it's $40. True, they're not going to get all the deliveries of things in advance, but it is going to be a freaking party. Your directors are already working on making it stellar for all of us.
Yeah.
So it is going to be huge. So that is July 10th and 11th. I know that on July 9th, Pampered Chef has got some things scheduled that will just boggle your brain. Already what I've heard, it's going to be stupendous. So make sure that you're registered. Make sure that anybody you add to your team who's signing up gets registered. You do not want to miss it. And there's all kinds of things that are going to be a part of that. So we don't want to conflict with National Conference. So we've got Director Bound ending today from May. We have July 9th, 10th, 11th for National Conference. Set the date on your calendar. Our next Get the More You're Looking For will be announced, the date to be announced right around the middle of July, right after National Conference. I expect us to have 5 times more people doing this that time, definitely. And it will start with that Get the More You're Looking For. There will be the booking blitz, then there will be the invitation to proceed with the 4 training calls and work one-on-one with your director. So same drill. And our goal is to run Director Bound at least every 2 months. But the month of June, I would like to offer and propose, and I need your feedback. Last fall, we offered a 3-course training called Zero to Hero. It was a call a week for 3 weeks, and it taught our team how to do online parties, how to do virtual parties. Some of you have watched the recordings of them and you're thriving and you're doing great. I have the recordings. But since then, a lot of things have changed. We're doing block parties now we weren't doing. We've learned a lot. We've implemented a lot more tips on how we do our parties. And that course is phenomenal. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I taught it. I will definitely partner with anybody else any other director leader wants to partner with me to teach it, but I would love to offer it in June. I just need to make sure to know that it's not going to be to an empty group, right? Would that be something you guys would like?
Yeah.
It's how to do these online parties. So in the chat, throw that in there if you're interested. I don't have dates, times, anything scheduled yet. It's a busy month for me. I'm a registered dietitian and my registration is due. I need to complete 75 continuing education credits next month. So, but that course made all the difference. It really had so many people took off with their businesses as a result of it. So it's called Zero to Hero. So shout out in the chat if you would like to participate in that, and we will rev ourselves up and make some schedule and announcements around offering it for the month of June. Then July will be national conference, and then August again for the next Director Bound. Okay, so we are about to wrap up. I want to thank Yvette and David and Christine and Emma for sharing, for Michelle and Cindy and Eve. Oh my gosh, yes, and Kelly. You guys have been phenomenal director partners, and I give it up to you. I learned so much from each of you. We couldn't have done this program. We couldn't have done it without everybody helping. If you are an up-and-coming director and you want to help us do the next Director Bound, reach out to your director and let us know. We hold your hand and we will help you, okay? So it's super fun. It's very rewarding. It's a little step out of your comfort zone. Directors, have we missed anything? You're muted, Michelle. Anything we needed to hit on?
I can't imagine anything that you have left out today.
All right. Did it. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Eve, Kelly, we're good? Everybody, I want you.
Big
One more
round
time.
of applause for you, Shelley, for leading.
Oh, for all of us. I was going to say, everybody come off of mute and give it up for all of you.
Yay, good job, Shelley. Thank you.
And attaboys. Super delighted to have
Looking
spent
forward
this
to
time.
next week.
Looking so forward to next week. Same bat
Yeah.
time, same bat
I
channel.
would like to propose one thing for everybody who participated in this training, to go onto your team pages and do some testimonials and kind of feed all your energy that you have right now today and share with your teams on your team page, so the next time it comes around, you can help inspire those other new consultants to join in with you next time.
Perfect.
Awesome. See, that's why we have Cindy here. Excellent. You guys are so remarkable. Together we are unbeatable. And you know, picture like the end of the year. Where are you going to be? What will you have done? Write it down. Make yourself a note. Mail yourself a letter. Set yourself some goals.
Yeah.
Think big. There are so many possibilities. I am very proud of each and every one of you. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to turn off the recording and let you get to it. Thank you.
Chat.
Oh yeah, save the chat. Yeah.